Welcome back to the Renegade Report. I'm your host, Francis Mayer, and this is Little Frank Gifford. And welcome back to the Renegade Report, the only show dedicated to the greatest junior college athletic department in the known universe, BC Athletics. Right now, we're going to talk to a guy who plays a really pivotal role behind the scenes in BC Athletics. But if you look almost at any athletic event, you'll see the guy. Steve Jantz, welcome to the show.
Francis, thanks for having me. I'm honored to be a part of the Renegade Report.
I'm honored to get you out of your office for 30 seconds. You really work a lot, and I heard just now that you had an athlete texting you to ask for advice. Tell us what you do for the college. Firstly,
my basic job is just helping students, do well in school, graduate, and then matriculate to a university or four-year college.
And what's involved with that? Because sometimes folks come to BC and they may not have taken the academic route in high school that would make things easier on them in college. How does that happen? Like, what's a basic scenario where somebody didn't get done in high school what they needed to get done?
Well, it's common at a community college. That's part of our population, and our job is to
move your mic just a little closer. Sorry.
Is this closer? Is this close? Testing.
Yeah, you
Testing.
can move it. You can
okay.
move it. You can physically move it.
Oh, wow! This is. I feel like the Beatles, 1964, Abbey Lane.
Sing.
What I will say is, many of these students we have many students who are perfectly qualified to be at a university. They're great students.
Absolutely,
they know how to do it. They've had a great track record coming in.
Yeah, but BC's a bargain. You're wise to go to BC.
Well, you are. It's $46 a unit, and it is smart. You get your general education courses and maybe figure out what you want to major in. So BC's great for any student. For students who maybe struggled a little bit in high school, a lot of it is their imagination. They don't know how to imagine how to be a good student. It wasn't something they did when they were in first grade, second grade, third grade. So we're working on the imagination, and a lot of it's building the confidence level in their abilities to think, to reflect, to process things, and to problem solve. And so what I'm trying to do is get into their heads, to start believing in themselves, and also maybe identifying those abilities. Once we could do that, then we start. Then I believe with the help of the coaches who do a great job as it is, to establish accountability and some mental discipline, intellectual curiosity, and also just taking care of their business academically. So once they could believe in themselves and see, I can do this, then the next thing is working on that self-discipline and have them take advantage of those many intellectual talents they have.
Steve, you're really more of a life coach than an academic advisor when it gets down to it.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't know if everyone would say that, but I appreciate that. I try hard to help the students because they're fun. They're enjoyable people. They invigorate me. They challenge me.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think being 54 years old, I
Are you really 54?
I'm 54.
You're aging like a champion.
Well, I'm grossly immature. I think that's really important.
I think it probably keeps you mentally young, but physically you are a specimen, dude.
I appreciate that.
You're lean and mean.
I can be mean, but in lean, yes. The students here, so as a life coach, I think all of us can be life coaches, especially when we have lived life and deal with some of the things that we have to deal with in life, successes, challenges, loss, victories, and so I just want to share that with them. But also, I want students to recognize that they have a lot of their own wisdom that they can also glean from, and also wisdom that I learned. I learned a lot from our students, and so I see it more as symbiotic, where we're learning from each other, helping each other. I just like to do the best I can to inspire them to do things that they want to do and can do, and to inspire them to believe in themselves. That's the most important thing.
No, I now that you bring that up, I think you're absolutely correct. I've been privileged enough to see some growth in some young people who didn't see themselves as college students when they came to BC, and now they're going to prestigious institutions like Cal Poly. We had a couple, I think, was it Ely last year? There was a couple of those guys that moved on that told me they didn't know how to be students until they came to BC. So I guess I'd throw that out there as an endorsement and an encouragement as well. If you're a guy who thinks maybe your dad didn't go to college, mine didn't. My dad started started working at the mill when he got out of high school. And maybe your dad went to work in the oil fields because, hey, it's an important job and it pays pretty good. But if you're not able to walk into one of those jobs because the world has changed, then you can walk into BC, and you don't have to be ready to be a student. You don't have to be ready to take, advanced chemistry or anything. You've seen success stories happen.
Oh, huge. Well, not just at BC, but in my previous life.
I wanted to get into that a little bit. You have had a previous life. That's part of what makes you such a valuable teacher. You have lived life. You've seen some things.
I've had weird jobs.
Have you really had weird jobs? I know you've had
jobs.
cool jobs.
I've had what one person's cool is another person's weird.
Fair enough.
I coached football in Italy for a season.
Wait, not football.
No, football americano.
Really?
I did.
What positions?
DBs, linebackers. It was a Torino Jaguari.
Are you serious?
It was fun. I was a young guy, and I met a guy at a gym, and he played for a team in Milan, and he said they were looking for somebody to help out. They coached in Torino, in Turin.
How was your football like in Italy? Was it good?
Let's put it this way: the guys didn't get paid, and they loved football. They played with a lot of passion, and there's great guys. I worked at.
I see like long flowing locks coming out from under the helmets and like awesome mustaches. Like I see over like handsome men like running around football.
Well, they weren't. They're football guys.
Were they hard hitters?
They tried, yeah.
Okay.
Some were, and they were Italian versions. There probably were guys like they weren't that good in soccer. That's why they ended up in football.
Kidding. Right.
So, but I did that. I had a past life as a journalist.
You did. You covered a pretty prestigious team.
I did pretty cool things. I worked for the Los Angeles Daily News for a lot of years as a young guy out of Cal State Northridge, and then I was at Sport Magazine for 3 years, where I was executive editor. I was a city editor at the Night Reader paper in San Luis Obispo.
And as this entire building full of people can tell you, it is a career that can bring on some burnout or some exhaustion. This is a grind of an industry.
It is, but I think also prepared me for higher education. And this is not to be funny or glib.
Yeah.
Because there's deadlines in journalism. Every day's a grind. And so in higher education, there's a different ebb and flow. So for me, deadlines they're not as stressed.
No, isn't there a certain freedom in a deadline? Because like I know that sometimes I'll be waiting for a coach to call, and I know that they have deadlines here of like 10:30 or 11 o'clock, and sometimes you can't, not to be cliche, but you can't think, you just have to do. And it's like, nope, don't be fancy with the lead. Just get it out. The Bakersfield College men's basketball team won their conference opener against Citrus College 97-78 last night on the strength of a 20-point performance by swingman DeAndre Dixon. Quote from the coach, like, go, just do, right? And get it turned in.
There's an element to that, but I think the talented writers, they have more tools in our toolbox.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And so, you might have like different types of leads, but you can be pretty darn creative.
Oh, yes.
And you see, I think the more experienced, more talented a writer is, the more he or she could do on deadline pressure. So, So yeah, the idea is like, yes, I'm going to bang it out. I hurry. There's not a lot of thinking, but I think the more talented writers and the more talented editors, they have ability to think on deadline.
Yeah, they have a gorgeous Wall Street narrative lead tucked away, just waiting to be pulled out and used.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Because what happens is, it's like anything. You've like I know for me, when I was a reporter then an editor, I'm visualizing. I'm actually thinking about leads. I'm thinking about like transitions, like during the week, like just possibilities, or if there's something I missed, or a story, I go, God, I actually would analyze. Man, I missed that. We had a great lead opportunity or a great headline opportunity, but I would think about it. Then maybe a month later or a year later, I go, it came up again, another opportunity. So it's just like a sport. You're visualizing. So when the opportunity approaches, you're ready to seize that opportunity.
Okay, and you're bringing up an interesting point that some people ask me, like, why sports? And you and I are athletics guys. We're athletics guys. We believe that athletics is positive and helps people, and this is a good example of why. Because if you think about any sport you play is going to teach you how to get things done and how to accomplish a goal. And once you have that kind of like mindset imbued in you, you can, like you did with journalism, you can apply it to different things.
I would agree. And I also think what I love about sports, to me, this is just me, and similar to music and performing arts, It's true human expression. So there's no editing, except for maybe an end zone dance where they're well scripted and you're doing some with the football or goalposts. But for the most part, you're seeing people in duress, in adverse situations or positive situations, and you can really watch a person's true essence in that situation. And that's what's exciting about sports. It's raw. Everything's stripped away. It's just a human being at his or her like true core, and that's exciting.
It's absolutely exciting, and I am going to remind folks of that in my job as sports information director when I do outreach about what happens. We expose truths when we play games. Well, I mean, let's just look back at the last season, for example. This is a kid that I'm very fond of, Stephanie Lugo. We saw Lugo's essence. She had a catastrophic knee injury.
Yeah.
She's
I love
a sophomore.
Lugo.
Oh, I love her too.
She's an amazing human being.
She
Amazing.
is absolutely comes from a big family. You
Yep.
know. And she actually came back this season after everybody, this is not an exaggeration. That's not a knee injury in a jumping sport that people come back from in the same year. But she did.
Well, she played with that, with a high-end knee brace. We're talking about Stephanie, and Stephanie is an example of BC. She exemplifies the BC, student athlete.
Oh yeah.
So Stephanie is not just a tough competitor and a brilliant student, but she's one of the nicest, most sincere people I've ever met in my life. And she comes by, she asks how I'm doing. She cares about her teammates.
Oh yes.
She's a very warm and loving person. And again, though, you see what's cool about her being an athlete, that comes out. That comes out in her sport. It comes out in a game. It comes out in practice. She can't hide from it.
No, she can't.
And so that's a magic thing. So I speak for myself. I'm privileged. I'm honored to witness that and observe. Many Stephanie Lugos, people who care so much, but they care, but that care comes out in real time. And there's no editing. It's just, it is what it is.
No, and people react to stress and pressure, how they're going to react to stress and pressure when they have to get something done. And we all get to sit there morbidly and watch it unfold. There's no other place in life. It would be totally inappropriate for you and I to grab a couple chairs, a couple soda pops and popcorn and sit next to Louis Amestoy's desk at deadline and be like, let's see how this goes. And laugh, criticize. Oh, Lewis, come on, dude, be more patient with the kid.
But in the newsroom,
come on, dude.
Check it out. In the newsroom, we do that.
Oh, we absolutely.
As editors,
we
do that. Yes, it comes out.
Stieg, I would love it if I could make you a regular guest. I know that you have incredible demands on your time at Bakersfield College, helping. We have 500 student athletes about annually that are competing, and all of them need their schedules fine-tuned, and they need a kick in the virtual pants from Stieg Jantz. Ooh, that's a new one. Get a kick in the pants.
I've never heard that before. That's very original.
Okay.
Good job.
Okay,
yeah.
You're pulling my get out of here, you guy. All right, listen, we're going to check in with the official statistician of Bakersfield College Athletics, Steve Lynch. But I tell you what, Jantz, dude, anytime I get a chance, I've got a place for Jantz to put his pants in this. Okay, I'm done.
We have a lot of ants.
We do. Coming up next, the official statistician of Renegade Athletics, Steve Lynch. Don't go anywhere. There's more Renegade Report coming up.